Hello and welcome to Real Talkin' Fiction, the podcast where storytelling meets raw, unfiltered conversations. I'm Eddie Bowers, or Edward Bowers, as some of you guys might know me from my books. I'm here to explore the stories we tell, both real and imagined, from deep dives into some of life's tougher questions to thrilling fiction that I write. So hopefully that's going to keep you guys on edge. We're going to try and cover it all here. So sit back, hit that follow button, and let's dive in.
Yeah, they make it sound so simple. You know, maybe you're an aspiring author, and maybe you've seen those same YouTube videos, you know, the ones titled How to Make $10,000 a Month on Amazon Kindle. And maybe you thought, you know, hey, I can make a living doing this, you know. Honestly, I felt the same way. And obviously, I found my passion in it, you know. But honestly, here I am. I'm here to kind of give you guys a little bit of real talk on that. You know, no sugarcoating, no fake success stories. Just, I don't know, brutal truth, we might call it, you know, about kind of what it takes or what it's taking me to make money as an indie author. Yeah, I realize it's 2025 now, but like I said, I've been doing this for 15, 16 years, somewhere around there. So I'm no expert, but I've got a little skin in this game. So, you know, I just figured I'd share it. And hey, you know, if you are an aspiring writer, or maybe you're just someone who loves stories about, like, I don't know, the struggle behind the dream, stick around, because at the end of this episode I might go ahead and share just a little bit of like a dark fiction twist, you know, dark fictional twist on I guess you could say the desperation to make it big in publishing. And no, I have not made it big. I don't want to say I'm struggling. I'm still grinding. I'm still pushing. So, you know, also, please don't forget to follow this podcast. You know, that way you're never going to miss an episode. Right now, with as new and fresh as this podcast is, I'm just kind of dropping some little nuggets, if you will, and I'm going to circle back and try to expand that stuff. So, you know, and if you want, you know, you can find me on Facebook at Edward Bowers -author. I'm also on like Instagram, TikTok. You can find my one book, The Forest of Hours, on Wattpad. That one I've released a few more chapters than I have read on this podcast, so you can get a little ahead of the game there. Royal Road, it's also on that site, and on Patreon. You guys can find me at Bowers Inc. B as in boy, OWERS INK. So let's get right into this. I think that's a little bit of self-promotion there, if you guys don't mind. But so, you know, kind of the reality of self-publishing. You know, the money isn't, you know, what you would think it would be. You know, so let's start with that. Let's start with the money, because let's be real here. That's what most indie authors are kind of pursuing or chasing. You know, that can I actually make a living off my books? Well, here's the cold hard truth. For me, you know, maybe I need to change some things. You guys let me know. But I make between like $1 to like $5 per copy sold, and even less if we're talking about ebooks. That's like a penny a page. So to make any real money, I've got to get even more creative and write more pages keeping somebody enticed in that entire story, you know. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of the truth, the reality of what you can make selling your books on the internet, by yourself, I guess. So, and that's kind of standard for most of self-published authors. Think about it. Think about it for a second. If I want to make, just say, an extra $2,000 a month, I need to sell like about 400 to 2,000 books every single month. And that is not easy. And unless you're like an established name, J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, Anne Rice, something like that, almost a household name. Even obviously the names I just listed are household names, but you've got to be like scratching that surface, and maybe if you're lucky to sell even, I don't know, a dozen copies a month without lots of money into marketing, you might hit those type of numbers. So what's the problem? Well, first off, any self-publishing company, Lulu, Amazon, I don't even know the names of every single one of them out there that does like a print on demand, which is probably the lowest investment for you. Amazon's going to get a huge cut. They're going to take a huge cut out of that book sale. So let's say, which this is accurate numbers, you can go look at my Amazon page and you can see I've got several books at $9.99, and it's to just break over into a little bit of profit, but keep my books at a price where you guys, the readers, aren't having to spend an arm and a leg on it. So using that example, if I do price every single one of my books at that $9.99, I don't get that full $10. I don't get that $9.99. Amazon takes their share. The cost to, I don't know, sell me the book might be, $2.50, $3, something like that. But by the end of the day, after they take out their portion, their profits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I might possibly get $3. And if I price it too low, say, I don't know, $2.99, I'm going to make even less. More like, I don't even think I could buy a cup of coffee off of what I would make if I sold my books, like the paperback or the hardback, at like $2.99. Plus, they kind of dictate, hey, get your author copy for $2.50, and then you're like, oh, okay, if I sell this book for $10, that's a decent profit. But then when you get to the pricing page, you notice that they have like a minimum price that you can list the book for, because that's going to be their portion that they're going to take out of that $9.99. And then again, boiling down after all their fees. Not that it's a bunch, it's more big chunks. You're left with like $1, $2 worth of profit. So traditional publishing is, honestly, it's not much better. You've got these publishing companies that are real companies wanting you to spend $5,000 up front, or let's say that you are recognized enough to have an agent, and the agent goes out and sells the book to these publishing companies. You're still left with, I don't know, $1, $2, $3 per copy sold. So, and I want to say the ones I've looked into, they take just as long to pay you. So, you're going to sell it in January, and end of February, beginning of March, you're going to get your profit. So making a full income off books alone, it's a struggle. It's an uphill battle. not to mention all the other struggles an indie author's gonna face, you know, and just what I've learned. It's not a lot, but what I've learned over these few little years. You see, when I first started, I thought, if I write a great book, if I just write an awesome story, people are going to buy it. I mean, that's what I was reading online. That's what I was reading on, the side hustle job sites and blogs. It was write a book, build it, they will come. It's a lot further from the truth. No one will buy your book if they don't know it exists. It's not like there's a search feature that's just like, hey, what's a new book? Boom, Edward Bowers. Here's his book, The Forest of Hours, or 86, or FML. So you've got to market, and marketing is probably going to be about 90% of the game. Writing the book, that's the easy part, to be honest. But getting people to actually find it, write reviews so that it pushes the algorithm, telling their friends, it doesn't come that easily, But that, I think, is where most authors, indie authors, fail, is in their marketing. And I'm no marketing genius, so I'm not exactly blowing up. I'm not failing, but I'm not. I mean, you probably had no clue unless you've listened to other episodes of the podcast or seen me on TikTok or social media. You had no clue that I wrote horror novels and poetry. So I've got to step up my marketing game a lot. In social media, I'm not downing it. It is honestly one of my key assistants, if you will. I had to start posting pretty much daily, to start getting some traction on my book, Would You Marry You? I posted that on Facebook. I was on TikTok, just promoting it. And I had to run like hey, if you pay this much more, I'll sign it for you. And that's when I started to make about an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month off of that book. I was selling that many copies at that point. But it was exhausting. Keeping up with that engagement, responding to posts, getting people to direct message me their mailing address, collecting payment, ordering the book, waiting for them to get in. I'd get the stack, sign it. I loved getting stacks of books and signing them. That was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. And then it died because I stopped promoting that book and offering signatures. So, I tried the ad game, doing social media ads, Facebook ads, pay-per-click, things of that nature. And nothing. It was like taking the money and lighting it on fire. Some people swear by Facebook ads and Amazon ads, but boy, oh boy, they eat up your profit and real fast. And if you're not selling the books, it's just chewing up your savings. And I'm not saying don't do it. I am not saying don't pay for ads, But if you don't know what you're doing, bye-bye cash, bye-bye profit. But you're going to need multiple income streams. If you're just relying on like KDP, you're kind of screwed. That's why I started looking into other things, and I found Wattpad and Royal Road and Patreon, to be honest, to help start building more of an audience. And I have no clue what I'm doing. So, I really haven't. I've gotten one of my books. I know I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. One of my books is finally today, the 12th of February, 2025. Today it hit number 1 in a plethora of categories. But I'm not getting as much engagement as I would like, and so I'm having to learn that and implement those tactics or strategies. So, the truth is, writing, publishing, self-publishing, it's a long game. You either build an audience over time, or you burn out trying to go viral overnight. And in today's day and age, with social media, a lot of people are striving to go viral. I'm a 46-year-old man. I'm very unlikely to just go viral overnight. So, and if any of this is hitting home, if you're an indie author struggling with sales or thinking about getting into self-publishing, go ahead, hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you can find me. And let's chat about this. Let's talk. See if there's anything I could do to help you, or you could do to help me, or we could help each other. It's really about building that community. So, but I did say I was going to try, and I did have this little story. So, before we wrap up, let me tell you a quick fictional story. Imagine a struggling indie author, desperate to sell his books. He's tried everything, ads, social media, begging for reviews, and nothing works. Then, one night, he gets a mysterious message from a group claiming to guarantee bestsellers. All he has to do is just sign his name in blood. At first, his book sales skyrocket. He's making thousands overnight. But then, strange things start happening. His book characters start changing, kind of rewriting themselves in ways he never intended. Readers begin claiming the stories feel too real, like they're alive. And then, one by one, his biggest fans start disappearing. Success always comes with a price. The question is, how much are you willing to pay? That's a little taste of just, kind of a little something I jotted down when I was preparing for this podcast. A little cheesy, I know, but hey, is what it is. So, and I really, honestly, I love doing stories, mixing like real life with fiction. So if you like that, and that was about 20 minutes worth of work coming up with that little blurb, make sure to follow the podcast, because I'm going to be doing more of these twists in future episodes. I'm also, I'm going to be continuing to read from my novel, The Forest of Hours. You can find the prologue in an earlier episode and a portion of chapter 1. And because I do try to keep these podcasts a little shorter as to not make them mundane, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a lot of sections, I believe. So bear with me, please. Now, some of my, I guess, sounded like, what was it? Jerry Springer, final thoughts. So to kind of wrap this thing up, self-publishing is not a get-rich-quick scheme, people. It takes a lot of hard work, strategy, patience. And you're going to have to get used to feeling like you failed. But just remember, you haven't, as long as you're continuing to go next step, one more step, learn something new. Keep pushing forward. But if you're in this game, if you're writing because you love it, not just for the money or fame, then again, just keep going. Your audience is out there. You just have to find them. And that's a lot of work, yes, but that's the truth. That's the real deal. And speaking of finding an audience, come on. If if you like horror stories, if you like dark poetry, let's build this community together. Help me build this community. Be part of it. You know, like I said earlier, follow me on Facebook at Edward Bowers-author. You know, support my writing on my Patreon account. You know, at Bowers Inc. B as in boy, Owers, INK. And go ahead, check out, if you've listened to The Forest of Hours, check out my other books on Amazon. Wattpad for free. Royal Road for free. Follow me on all social media if you want to. There, you know, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'm working on giving some more like behind the scenes, some indie author trial and error, and my journey. Now, if you liked this episode, again, do me that favor of following, share it, leave a review, tell your friends, tell the world. I whatever you can do. Even if you only have one friend, tell them. Every single little bit helps. So until next time, keep writing, keep creating, and keep fighting for your dream. And this is Edward Bowers signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.
That kind of wraps up this episode of Real Talkin' Fiction. If you enjoyed today's discussion, make sure to follow the podcast, please, so you never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you, share it. Share it with a friend. You know, it helps me more than you guys know. If you'd like to support the show and my writing, you can always join me on Patreon. For honest, I'm thinking, I believe as little as $1 a month. Your support's going to help me keep creating, and in return, you guys are going to receive exclusive updates, behind the scenes content, as well as early access to some new projects. So, you know, check it out. Just head on over to Patreon, search Edward. Search Bowers Inc. B as in boy, Owers, INK. And you should be able to find me there. Also, I think somewhere on this podcast, possibly on the YouTube channel, I've got the links shared there. You know, and if you love a good thriller, don't forget to check out my books. They're available on Amazon. All right, just search Edward Bowers in the search bar, and it should pull up everything I've written and published. You can also find all the details at my website, which is edwardbowersofficial.com. It's kind of a basic website, but you know, I'm working on it. Okay, bear with me. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. You know, just stay real. Keep turning the pages of your own story. And I'll see you guys next time, all right?